Naturalist, lead superstar of the movie as well, David Shuley. David.
Check.
Yeah, I'm going to start with you. My question to you, as a director of The Edge of the Wild, is why did you decide to tell this story?
I moved here from New York City back in like 1996, and I was introduced to San Bruno Mountain, and I kind of couldn't believe that such an amazing wilderness exists so close to the city, and I fell in love with it. And I was amazed at the story, how important it was throughout the country, the landmark for HCP. And so I thought the story needed to get out.
Well, I value it. Thank you. Michelle, we're going to go over to you. Vice President of the Board of Directors for San Bruno Mountain Lodge. Not just what's it like to be a superstar and a movie star, but what would you like to share with us in Pacifica after your journey?
That's an interesting question, and what I really want to share with you is don't give up. Pedal to the metal, make sure every I is dotted, every T is crossed, make sure every condition is met. We are still waiting for Philippi Hill to actually be turned over into the public trust after all this time. Yes, amazing, isn't it? It should happen hopefully this year finally, but the Brookfield sold to another developer, Toll Brothers. They've been dragging their feet a little. The county had certain conditions of the land that needed to take place. And so after all of this time, we have not had access to Philippi Hill to do any restoration work there at all. So I think that this is a cautionary tale for Pacifica. It's really hard to fight development. The die was cast on this many, many years ago. And when I watched the movie again yesterday, I got angry all over again. I can't even tell you. And I cried all over again. Gail made me cry so many times it wasn't funny. She has hours of crying on film. But I think that the thing that is important is never give up. And we still haven't given up. We're still pushing. We're still working. And San Bruno Mountain Lodge has done an amazing job with Ariel and our, all of our volunteers and David, pushing, and to build a native plant nursery where we, habitate the mountain, and we work constantly, and it's a lot of work, but you need to do it. And so I guess my thing is don't give up, keep pushing. And take this cautionary tale of what happened and make sure that whatever deals are made, these deals will be made, that the developer or whoever you're working with meets all of the conditions that they promised to do, because that has not been done now for way more than 27 years, like 35 years. Some things are better. The county has taken a much better role in managing the mountain, and now has a biologist. Thomas Region Associates is well out of it, and we participate with them, and we partner with them, and we work together as a team to do everything we can to save the habitat on San Bruno Mountain.
Mike, I'm coming to you. So Mike has, a long time ago, very active in the Open Space Committee, president of the Pacifica Land Trust years ago. Like I said, he created a stewardship program that hired me as a stewardship coordinator for Pedro Point Headlands, which helped me to learn so much. And has been in the thick of it for a lot of the protections that we have here. So Mike, my question to you is, can you share the story of saving Pedro Mountain or Maury Point?
Or both. Yeah, I have to say that maybe just a prelude. I taught conservation biology at San Francisco State for many, many years, and every semester I would show The Battle to Save San Bruno Mountain with David Schooley, and it's a great, great movie. And watching this movie was just a wonderful, like, sequel to that. Not wonderful, but hard, really tough. So I really admire what you folks have done over the years at San Bruno Mountain. We've been lucky in Pacifica in a way. I'm really happy we were back in the late 80s and early 90s that we got a land trust established. The land trust has really, really helped us to acquire places like Maury Point, working with Trust for Public Land, and San Pedro Point, which is San Pedro Point Headland is just a great place. And once again, most of these places have their share of rare species that would have been lost, I think, had we not banded together and had the opportunity to acquire these lands. We had that opportunity at Pedro Point because we worked with the Coastal Conservancy, and there was a downturn in the market, and it was scheduled to be developed, and we were able to actually, get some support from Coastal Conservancy and from actually some funds from the Highway Fund. Maybe 2 years old. I can't remember what the Highway Fund is now. It's a long time ago. But we're still, as far as I know, the land trust is still trying to get the land into a public agency a public agency to do the management. We've been essentially doing the management ourselves over many, many years now. We had great luck. We got a lot of there was a motorcycle activity out there that really impacted the habitat. We were able to get funds from the state to help to recover and restore. And I guess I would just, I know I'm not trying not to take too long, but it's gotten to the point now where we really need to be flexible and to get out there and assist in restoration of these habitats. The point that Paul Ehrlich made, and that is made beautifully in this whole saga of San Bruno Mountain, is that, we are dependent on these life forms for our very existence. That's the reality of it. That's the science of it. I won't go into it, but that's the science. And we need to pull our society around to recognize that reality and to start taking measures to implement a whole different land ethic and a different way of doing business. So this is a great start, but it's only a start. It's just the beginning. There's a lot more that needs to be done to shift society in the direction of saving our environment.
And then I'd like to go to Ariel right now. You're the director of the San Bruno Mountain Watch. You assist in habitat restoration. You tried to write us into a grant you applied for. Thank you very much for the Pacific Beach Coalition. I hope you resubmit it and get accepted. Can you tell us about the Mission Blue restoration? Mission Blue and the restoration work that you've been doing. Mission Blue Butterfly. I want to hear about the Mission Blue Butterfly and your restoration project.
Of course. So the grasslands on San Bruno Mountain are really amazing quality, the ones that are in good condition, and there's many grasslands that are in good condition on the mountain, and we really focus on protecting the grasslands that support the Mission Blue butterflies. And it's really a cycle, just like the butterfly has its annual cycle. The people working to protect it at every stage of the year. We also have our own cycle we're working for this butterfly. And I really love that it's such a community-based effort that any person can participate in different ways. We have our native plant nursery called the Mission Blue Nursery, and there we're growing the native host plants like the lupins that the caterpillars will eat. and also the native wildflowers that the adult butterflies will seek nectar from. And so we can have a volunteer who is, washing our nursery pots and making sure that we're growing plants in healthy ways. We have our volunteers who are scarifying the lupin seeds and helping us sow them. Volunteers who are helping us water the plants. The people who then come out in the wintertime and plant those plants in the habitat. I even think the truck driver who brings our potting soil is part of this Mission Blue restoration effort, and it's really so many people involved in different ways makes this action to protect the butterfly a really beautiful effort. And so we definitely want to invite everyone here to get involved. Not only do we do planting of these native host and nectar plants, but this year we're partnering with a group called Creekside Science. We'll be doing mass seed sowing of lupins all over the ridge of San Bruno Mountain. And we need a lot of people to come and help us pretty much nail in seeds into little cracks and crevices and help these lupins grow more. And so, like I said, there's many ways to get involved, and we'd really love to find out how you could if you're interested.
Thank you very much.
And Bill kindly reminded me that we also want to invite you to come visit our nursery if you'd like really soon. On September 11th, we're having our annual pancake breakfast and plant sale. And so you can come get pancakes, blueberry pancakes with our special invasive blackberry syrup, shell mix, and also buy some native plants. Our nursery is dedicated to only growing plants from San Bruno Mountain. And that makes us a really super local nursery really dedicated to this place.
I like pancakes, I like blueberries, and I love blackberry syrup.
Gail also reminded me to remind you of the website, mountainwatch.org. Our group is San Bruno Mountain Watch.
Thank you. David, you're an artist, you're an environmental activist, you're a founder of the San Bruno Mountain Watch. You've seen a lot of changes on San Bruno Mountain. Can you talk a little bit about that? Is that too broad?
2 hours or less.
Can you tell us a little bit about founding San Bruno Mountain Watch and about the Mountain Watch?
All right. When I started here, 1968. I took a Greyhound bus from the Old Bay Shore, and I went back to Cow Palace, and suddenly, right there was Buckeye Canyon next to Brisbane itself. I saw a wilderness right there, oak forest, a wilderness right there in the middle of nowhere with the garbage and the monsters that have been done for so many years. I got a bus, went into Brisbane, started poking around, ended up moving for a period of time in Brisbane to go and explore those canyons. Those canyons had no trail. It was wilderness. Unknown habitat all around it, ancient and beautiful, and it was that garbage, San Francisco's garbage, for all those many years, so protected and kept anybody from building it there. It was like an incredible discovery, and there was not that much effort on either side. But step by step, I've met people in Brisbane, got people and activities. I was told that suddenly the garbage is quiet, and people are owners and builders and out in the building on the mountain. And then more information. We had a couple meetings up on the mountain in 1970, and wow. They were going to build that whole mountain, top of the park, under the whole thing. Why did we tip it? Yes. Oh, I see. Okay, sorry. So anyway, getting to know people step by step, I found out that the builders were going to be building. An enormous response came up from people all around the baby city, South San Francisco, Brisbane, everywhere around. And an enormous battle began from what we discovered to be the most incredible plan to build. To start right now, though, San Bruno Mountain Watch now is more sedate, more proper, more organized. In those days, we were battle warriors, fighting from every side and from everyone around us. And that, we were innocent in a lot of ways, but we went ahead and did it. An incredible act on all sides. Pacifica is a place for that too. Let's keep it going. So that battle went on for 7 to 8 years. And actually, people saved that mountain in just a switch difference between the council supervisor in San Mateo County, 3 to 2. And 3 of us went for us to save the saddle area. This was before butterflies. It was more of all the other kind of stuff we're facing now, we're thinking about here. But at that point, this incredible move said, hey, we in the Bay Area, we in San Bruno Mountain, the peninsula, we are going to save wild land around us. It happened. So, a quiet moment came, and what did we do? This is a shameless plug. The Pacifica Land Trust carries on even to this day, although not as vigorously as in the past, I don't think. But we have volunteer work day the fourth Saturday of every month, and of course everybody's welcome. You can find out details on our website, pacificalandtrust.org. And second shameless plug is we have a small native plant nursery starting up in Pacifica as part of Pacifica Gardens behind the old Vermont School. And we will have some plants for sale this Saturday, or next Saturday, and Saturday after, the first 2 Saturdays in September. And then we have our big plant sale the Saturday before Thanksgiving. So come and check them out. Thank you.
Yeah, guys, I have to say that I was part of the restoration team at Pedro Point, and one of the things that was remarkable for me was we would take out native plants, and over time, the transformation of that property to native from non-native was remarkable. But the other thing was how valuable it was to the people that came to help. How incredibly positive and uplifting and community building that project was. So the Mountain Watch, Pedro Point Headlands, the Pacific Beach Coalition restoration work, I highly encourage you to come out and get your hands dirty with your neighbor and your friends and make new friends, because it is remarkable the restorative power of healing the land and connecting to the earth. So I invite you to join any of these organizations with your work. We have a question over here.
I'm new to the area, and so this is all new information to me. I was wondering, from a naive perspective, is there a way to get this kind of film out into the education, into the high schools, to educate, our next generations into what's going on? And this is a great history lesson for how to deal with city governments and other corporations. I was just curious if there's a way to get this out.
The film is available for free on Canopy, Kanopy. If you have a library card, you usually have access to Canopy. So it's called The Edge of the Wild, and you can watch it and share it to as many people as you like.
If you're an educator, this could be a great thing for your classroom.
I'd like to know how your friend did on city council and how she was able to shift the conversation a little bit, whether it made a difference. I know the legal rules are very restrictive right? And so we have to follow the law and not be sued as a city. I know a little bit, as an architect, I've been fighting some projects in town. You know, vested development rights don't come until the planning commission approves the project. So educating our people, being in front of that, being, you know, reviewing projects and making your voice heard early on. A group of my neighbors was fighting a project on Monterey Road, and we unfortunately ended up having to sue the city, but we were able to require an EIR, and so that project has to start over. And there's, you know, protect San Diego Mountain and other groups. There was actually an article in our paper last week about major development projects that are on the, you know, in the plans being reviewed now. But yeah, how does the council person make a difference?
So first of all, let me go back and just fill in a little bit of history. When the deal was cut for San Bernardino Mountain to have the Northeast Ridge development, basically the county, that was not in Brisbane at that time, that was county land. And so was Crocker Industrial Park. And the county held it over Brisbane and said, if you don't go for this deal, this is back in the 80s, if you don't go for this deal, we were giving it all to Daly City, including Crocker Industrial Park. And so they kind of held Brisbane's feet to the fire. And so that was how that deal was cut. And so then when it got changed back in, for the finishing of the Northeast Ridge, I think that was one of the reasons why we had no hope of really changing the course on that one, other than holding their feet to the fire. Terry O'Connell is still on the Brisbane City Council, has been a very effective champion of the environment, and also, you know, budgets, and right now Brisbane's facing a lot of issues with the development of the Baylands, high-speed rail, still trying to protect the mountain, and we have a lot of issues again, you know, that we're facing. Cliff Lentz is the only one of those original 5 council members that we saw in the film that is still on the city council. Clark retired a couple of years ago, and it's a fine line. You walk the razor's edge when you sit on the council. It's one of the reasons that I have never run for council, is that I would not be able to do what I do as an advocate for the mountain and for Brisbane if I was on the council, because you basically have to walk and talk the line. There's the Brown Act. There is, you know, if you make up your mind before it comes before the council, then you could, you know, lose your ability to be able to vote on an issue. So it is really hard, and the most important thing you can do is really work with your city council and your city to let them know how you feel and keep them educated and keep them involved without making them necessarily verbally commit to one position or another, because they cannot do that. It's a fine line. And I'm so proud of Terry and the work that she has done for the city of Brisbane. And she's been an amazing council person for us. And right now we have a really strong environmental council. All 5 members of the Brisbane City Council, I feel, are very environmentally conscious and are doing everything they can. It's very difficult because the state has taken draconian measures to put the pressure on cities to overbuild and develop and develop and develop because of the housing crisis. But you have to be careful, because that is also a double-edged sword. People need housing, but affordable housing. Like you didn't get to stay in Brisbane, you know, and what's happening now in the state of California with SB 9 and SB 10 is awful, because it's not affordable housing. They're ripping out affordable housing to build big mega high-rises or mega mansions like they did on the Northeast Ridge. And so all of California cities are under assault. And the more open land you have and the more habitat you have, the more you're going to be under assault. And so you do really need to work to protect, do everything you can to protect your land. And, you know, David said we're more peaceful now than we were, but that's not really true. We're still in there fighting. There's a piece of property we're trying to get right now that was the Cookie Flyway, that was supposed to be designated as the Cookie Flyway that's adjacent to the Northeast Ridge, and it's in private hands. And we're working really hard to try to get help to bring that into the public trust as well. So it's a constant battle. You can never give up. and you take your allies where you can, like your city council people. And sometimes I'll just literally pelt her, and she'll go, you know, but I can see in her eyes, and she still cares. She'll be cooking sausages at the pancake breakfast, so come and meet her for yourself. She couldn't be here tonight, she's been on vacation, she just got back about 2 hours ago. She's my neighbor, we're best friends still, so.
Okay, I think we can take like 2 more questions, and then I have one more thing going on.
I was really shocked, and I don't know who to direct this to. I think perhaps mine or David. I was really shocked about not being able to get another environmental impact report. What is this? Is this nuts? We're gonna let somebody who's a partisan, who did faulty research, and we're gonna let them decide that no, you can't have another. Is it still, or do we still have that problem? I always assumed, excuse me, I'm not holding right. I always assumed that an environmental impact report was something that was not that difficult to get, and that it could be done according to standards. But this makes me think, maybe not?
It's not as easy as you think, and in this case, because there was already an EIR, and the U.S. Fish and Wildlife did not agree that we needed a new EIR, even though I did. And the research was not complete. They didn't know about the ants. They didn't know a lot of things. It was total hubris 30 years ago when they did the HCP. And we know a lot more now, and environmental impact reviews are a lot better now, but there's still a lot of laws involved, CEQA and everything else. And sometimes it doesn't matter. You should read the EIR for high-speed rail and what they're about to do in Brisbane. It will make you sick to your stomach. So we just have to keep fighting and fighting and fighting.
Give me a Ron.
Yeah, hi, my name is Ron Maples. Some of you may know me and you don't, but here I am. I don't really have so much of a question. It's just a suggestion, watching that movie and seeing those earth movers, you know, move those acres and acres of dirt, and just thinking about, you really have 3 tiers of environment habitat. You know, you have an amazing number of things, subterranean creatures, snakes and lizards that use the gopher hole, and of course the rodents, insects. Then on the surface you have many, many species, and of course the birds, the sky zone, that live off of the things there too. So it'd be really nice to get, and it's unfortunate we have an endangered species. We really have to fight very hard to keep them, you know, to exist. Because there's a lot of species that are species of concern that will be endangered if we don't start looking at the big picture. So it'd be really nice if somebody made a movie that covered those 3 zones, you know, the subterranean, surface, and the air, to get a much bigger idea of what, you know, what the destruction that happens when you're clearing the land like that. That's all. I just wanted to point that out.
Sounds like you have a filming.
I'd just like to say the destruction on that site, it went way beyond that site. It created an incredible amount of siltation that went all the way down into our lagoon, and that we're still suffering with a lot of that algae and that from the Northeast Ridge development. And Mountain Watch actually participated in suing Brookfield over that, and had a settlement that went to open space. So, and the species of concern is sitting in this room. Because if we don't do something, we're going to be the species of concern.
Thank you. Anna.
I don't really need a microphone. I'm a teacher.
What I wanted to say, one important thing that Ariel left out that he really does is work with school groups. And I've been lucky enough, Ariel came down to my 3rd grade and my colleague's 3rd grade class last year. We had a presentation about the San Bruno Mountain, the butterfly, Coma Creek, and then guess what? 68-year-olds out there pulling ice plant. You've never seen them so happy, so eager, working through recess. They really loved her hair. And also all the science and the, like Lynn was saying, the hands-on, like when can we do that again? So I want to commend you for that, thank you for that.
and look forward to seeing you back in the classroom soon. And really recognizing that that's really a critical part of what you do, so thank you.
Go ahead, Dave.
Yeah, a teacher, one of the teachers. One of the teachers was talking about the movie and available things like that. There's another, the Butterflies and Bulldozers, another film. So get that and teach that also to students. And just one other moment that we're all finishing for this. There's other battles still working on San Bernardino Mountain. We need your help and everyone's awareness of it. The quarry is a huge area, and the question is, what is it going to be built with industrial stuff, or to be a botanical garden? And this is your help and your effort that we need that desperately. There's a Brisbane Acres, another area above the town that needs help. They want to make roads and build. We don't want that. We want the whole area protected. There are critical areas all around this secret surviving mountain. So come and find out more.
I'd just like to say I wanted to correct something in case I didn't make a very clear point, which is that we have been very fortunate in protecting a lot of the really sensitive habitat in Pacifica, but it hasn't been without a struggle. A lot of people over many years worked really hard, and in each case, you have to use whatever the devices are that you have at hand, whether it's the Endangered Species Act or other possible ways of fighting things. And we've been really lucky, again, with the Golden Gate National Recreation Area and so on. And I guess just the last comment I'll make, it kind of builds on what Ron said and what has been said here. It's endangered species. Unfortunately, it's been what, 50 years, over 50 years since the Endangered Species Act was passed, roughly 50 years. And yeah, and it's like, it was great, but it wasn't enough. And what really needs to be happening now, as has been suggested, is that we need to recognize the value of the natural lands that we have and that we can access, and that are such an important part of our recreation. For example, the economy in Pacifica has really thrived because we have these places, these special places. But beyond that, of course, are the essentially natural services that we all, when we've mentioned the air and the water, all of it. We have to get a better sense of why this is important, and maybe, hopefully, consider a new kind of legislation to really direct ourselves to protecting the environment that is absolutely so essential to all of us. So anyway, I just want to make especially that point that it didn't come easily. There's been a lot of fighting, but there's a lot that needs to be done. Thank you.
Okay. So the Pacific Beach Coalition honors the Mission Blue this year. That means we pledge to learn about them ourselves and to teach others about them and to dedicate all our work all year long to that. So in this effort, we've been sharing Mission Blue information at every cleanup and every corporate give back and any opportunity we have. Ariel, I would like you to talk just about Mission Blue.
Well, one thing that I love about Mission Blue is that it's like a tri-county species. Before I was on San Bernardino Mountain, I worked for 1 year in the Golden Gate National Parks Conservancy, and whether it was in the Sport Baker in the Marin Headlands, or Twin Peaks in San Francisco, or Sweeney Ridge and Malaga Ridge in Pacifica, and San Bernardino Mountain, it connects people who work on this butterfly in these different areas. And not only the people who help steward them, people from the community and people from these organizations that biologists that work with them, but these butterflies themselves are spread from place to place. The butterflies from San Bernardino Mountain are taken to Twin Peaks and Milagro Ridge, and that helps keep their population more diverse. And I think it's really a symbol of how people in the Bay Area really appreciate what's special about this place. I see driving here today under the freeway, there's a pillar near the, I guess, in one, I'm not sure exactly what neighborhood, but there's a mural of a Mission Blue butterfly that's, under the freeway near McLaren Park, and there's, there's just different ways that people here recognize this butterfly. I've met neighbors who live on, well, I don't live there, but people who live near Twin Peaks and who try to garden for this butterfly, or people in Pacifica who went to Oceana High School and they raised lupins in the back of Oceana. And so I just love seeing that people in different communities know about this species, they find it special, and it brings them out to these places. And I'm just really grateful that the Pacific Beach Coalition is doing this Mission Blue Needs You campaign. They've really amassed wonderful resources about the Mission Blue, its life cycle, its habitat behavior on their website. And so I definitely encourage you to check that out to learn more about them specifically.
Thank you. I think I would be remiss if I did not acknowledge the people that came before us who have protected our open spaces. Mike and the whole crew of people, Mitch Reed, who's not here, who was a really instrumental in stopping the overpass. But I'd also like to acknowledge Clark Natwick, who was a founder of the Pacific Beach Coalition and Pacifica's Environmental Family, and Melanie, who is here right now, who started the restoration of Lindemark way back and led cleanups, but Clark was the one out there. He didn't really get the volunteers that we're getting these days, and yet the work that they did was amazing. Also, the restoration of the beach, the restoration of the creek is remarkable. And the transformation that's happened in the last 15 years when we expanded from the beach restoration and were able to go upland and now get the native plants established there and remove all those invasive species. We know about invasive species. We know about them. And a lot of people in the Bay Area now know about them because the Beach Coalition has been bringing in, thousands of volunteers to participate in habitat restoration and add those to the people that are working with San Bruno Mountain Watch and Michelle and anybody else and David. It's so valuable and it's so needed. And if we don't demand it, they don't know about it, right? But if we get them engaged, then they know about it and we can change a lot of places and bring them back to the native habitat. So I want to thank the panelists. Is there anyone else here on the panel that wants to say anything else? Last words. What's that?
Is Natwick okay? Natwick.
Clark Natwick. Yeah, Clark is still okay as far as I know. God bless him.
Dear friend.
He's
I just
wonderful.
want to say I never intended to be a superstar. David introduced me to Gail and said, "Would you help out my friend? She's doing a film about the mountain." I'm like, "Oh, sure, okay." I did not know what was going to happen.
Now you're on the A
I
list.
just want to say that.
You're on the A list. So I want to thank you all for coming today. I want to thank you for coming out to learn, challenge you to teach others about what you learned. And I want to thank the panelists. I want to thank the organizers. I want to thank the Pacific Beach Coalition, and I'd like to acknowledge Jim and Anna, who are here today, who 25 years ago started the beach cleanups here in Pacifica and with the Pacific Beach Coalition. There you go. Anything anybody wants to say? Thank you all.
During Earth Day this past April, the Pacific Beach Coalition was able to hold an event that allowed for families and community members to join together on the beach and pick up trash. This is able to help the environment and animals that live in the water, making for a responsible future. Here are members of the Pacific Beach Coalition speaking about their cause and the importance of this event.
A Pacific Beach Coalition started in 1997. So this is our 25th year. Jim and Anna were founders of it. And I came on in about 1990, probably 2000. And we've been doing Earth Day in a bigger way since 2005, when we expanded from doing our beaches to trying to do our streets and the parking lots around us.
We're now the Pacific Beach Coalition, but that's a great question. It started out as the Pacific Beach Coalition with just a few members, and we expanded to the whole San Mateo coast. I would say that, I said this in an earlier speech, the Beach Coalition is important. It's not just an organization, it's really a movement. And the idea is to educate people to, like I said, buy less, litter less, think about what you're buying, think about what you're trying to recycle, think about what you're purchasing. Does it create trash? What about that cigarette butt? Should you just walk by it? Should you flick it on the sand? No. I think it's important, really the primary importance of the Beach Coalition is to educate people to stop littering in the first place, to stop creating litter in the first place.
Well, Pacific Beach Coalition means to me hope and action and education and I guess an opportunity to connect with other people and to create a better planet.
For me personally, it's for the wildlife first, because humans create all the trash. Wildlife doesn't do all that. So the fish and the seals, the turtles, et cetera, it's super important to keep the beaches clean for them. Secondly, for the environment as a whole, for humans, for our earth, for the whole bit, but really to me, primary is the earth. Without the humans here, once we introduce our trash, we really need to stop making all the trash because it was good without us.
I think the important thing just to keep in mind is every time you make any extra effort, the smallest thing can make a big difference. And if every human being on this planet, there's 8 billion, however many billions of us there are, if every single one of us did the smallest thing, it makes a huge difference.
You know what, really, I think my primary message is think about what you purchase. Think about what you purchase. That's the first thing. You purchase a candy bar, that's trash. You get a recycled, you get a bottle of supposedly recycled for water. It may or may not get recycled. That's going to add to trash. So really for the earth, if we just purchase less, if we just buy less, if we think about what we buy instead of just going and buying what's most convenient, I think that we're going to really reduce a lot of the harm of the earth for sure.
Most of our efforts are concerned with the Peter Point headlands. Every month we have a volunteer work day, and it's the fourth Saturday of each month. Steve Deers is our volunteer coordinator. He leads us in activities, mostly trail maintenance, restoration, plant restoration, seed collection,
erosion control, and other erosion type work.
So we're here from the San Mateo County Libraries here at the Pacifica Sharp Park and the Sanchez Library, and we provide books and resources. We have all different types of things to check out. We have bicycles now, we have ukuleles, we have Wi-Fi hotspots and laptops, and we also have really wonderful programs. So we have programs for all ages. We'd love to see you at the Sharp Park or the Sanchez Library.
We are part of San Pedro Valley Park. San Pedro Valley Park is one of the 24 parks, part of the San Mateo County Park System. And as the Friends, we volunteer, we host the visitor center, we do programs on natural history, and so we invite guests to come and see natural history programs on birds and local wildlife and mountain lions and a lot of things. We invite people to come and join us and visit the park.
What we do is we start native plants from seed that we've gathered. We grow them up, and we do one of two things. We sell them to people at our plant sale. The other thing that we do with these plants is we give them away to nonprofit organizations that are trying to restore various areas to their native state. These plants are good for insects that are not necessarily pollinators, that are native to the area, like beetles, for instance. And then birds eat the beetles, and so on up the food chain.
Welcome to the World Dog Surfing Championships right here on Lindemar Beach. You're watching this on Pacific Coast TV, the Coastside community television leader. Now, we have for you today a highlight of all the great things that happened at this World Dog Surfing Championship. Let's take a look.
I'm with Taste TV, which is a media company here in the San Francisco Bay Area. My role is I originally kind of came up with the idea for dog surfing competitions around the world, and after they took off in Southern California and Hawaii and for other places, we decided that since there were none taking place up here in the Northern California area, that we would start one up here, the World Dog Surfing Championships. My favorite part of this event is the community spirit. I mean, we have the great dog surfers who come out and really express the bond between man and woman and dog, and best friends and all that. That's the reason why the dogs surf, not because they have to, but because they want to. And then the community, I mean, the number of people that come out here to this event is astonishing. We don't think, well, from what we heard, Pacific hasn't had any big event like this ever when it comes to surfing. And yeah, people love dogs and they love surfing, so they really come out, right? It's a sports event, it's fun, people have a good time, they come out, they enjoy the weather, they enjoy Pacifica, they enjoy the coast, they get away from wherever they are. We have people flying from Utah today. But another aspect is that it is important because we do this to raise awareness to dog charities. We have Peninsula Humane Society, ASPCA, and we have Rocket Dog Rescue. And Rocket Dog was here today and they adopted out 9 dogs. So that is important to get these dogs brought into good homes. And probably half of the dogs that surf are rescue dogs also, so it's a great thing.
I am the founder of Rocket Dog Rescue, and we are the beneficiaries of this, one of the beneficiaries of this amazing event out here, and every dime that we take in goes to saving lives. So it's a pretty incredible, place to be. We adopted out a lot of dogs today. We brought all of our dogs that we got applications, and 9 dogs went home. I know, it's pretty amazing. And then tomorrow, there's a shelter that's overcrowded, that's like, it's just awful. The shelters right now are so crowded, and we're taking 21 dogs, right? Yep. Yeah, 21 dogs from that shelter. We're going to be, getting them out into foster homes and stuff. So being able to be here today and get these dogs in the home is making room for these other animals that really need to be saved.
Okay, cool. So it sounds like you run an animal shelter that's adopting dogs out during this competition. Is that correct?
That's right. So we are a 501c3 nonprofit. We're an all-volunteer-run organization. We're, funded only with donations. So this is like what keeps us going. People donating, buying T-shirts, adopting dogs, and it's how we're able to do what we do, which is to go out and save lives from the shelters.
We're a volunteer-run business, and we really rely on the kind-hearted nature of all of you. Yeah. I'm a long-time volunteer.
Okay, that's great. Do you guys have any message to people watching today?
Yeah, anything, if you see somebody that needs help, whether it's a neighbor or a nonprofit or shelter, go and jump in, volunteer, help out. This is a time The world has been through some trauma. We've all been through some stuff over the past few years. And right now it's up to all of us to support each other and to help each other out. If you want to volunteer with us and help us save animals, you can go to rocketdogrescue.org. But I just encourage you to just go out into your community and help somebody that needs it,
You're gonna applaud and scream for the ones you want first, second, and third. We're gonna go by volume, so make it loud. Scotty, come here. If you want to do jumping jacks or push-ups to express your enthusiasm, we'll accept that as well. Okay, are you ready? I'm gonna point at each one, and then you guys say. I'm gonna walk behind, all right? If I get splashed, warn me. With enough ado, as they say. Number one, small dog, is Carson! Of the medium dog, well, becomes as no surprise to anyone. That dog is Skyler! Yes, Skyler. Very large dogs category, and the winner of that category, as voted on by our judges, who are a coalition of beach groups, surfing groups, and dog groups. The winner of that category, the number one in 2022, in which group? I lost track. In 2022, in which year we are in. The winner of that is You Gotta Have Faith! And as a reminder, everyone, there is an after Pedro Point Brewery here at Pacifica, starting at 3 o'clock. A lot of the dogs will be there. A lot of dogs will be there. Head on out. Well, let's get to number two. Number two is the dog that's known to never go into the surf without taking his own surfboard. That's right. That's what they call the sea monster, otherwise known as Charlie.
I'm ecstatic. I'm so happy. Had such a fun day down here. Happy to come out winning, and Skylar got three other medals besides this, so we're happy. Great event. We love being down here. It's an awesome event. Smiles all day long. She won gold medal in medium dog, silver medal in dog, and then gold medal in dog-human tandem, and then gold medal in the overall dog.
All right, cool. So what's your favorite part about this competition?
Everything, just getting out at the beach, hanging out with all the dogs, having a good time.
We've been doing it for 6 years. It looks like it happens about every 2 years. And we applied for and got a grant from Keep America Beautiful, targeting cigarette litter prevention. And we came up with this idea as a community project to paint buckets and put them around the community for people to be able to put their cigarette butts rather than flicking them on the ground. And as you can see, just amazing results.
Well, this event is so important to the community because it just allows us to be creative and allows us to think deeper about the environment, and Mission Blue Needs You. It was our theme. So it was a Mission Blue theme, and it could be Mission Blue for the butterfly or it could be Mission Blue for the ocean. And people get to think a little bit deeper about it and come up with some kind of a design that they wanted to do. But it also raises awareness about tobacco litter, which is like they call it the gateway litter. First you see a cigarette butt on the ground and then you add other things to it. So it invites litter. So if we can stop tobacco litter, we can probably help curb a lot of the litter problems that we have.
Initially I didn't know what to do. I have never painted a butterfly in my life. So I thought that was a really cool concept, and I painted everything as I went. So nothing was planned. But I love pointillism. That's my art style that I do as a professional artist, and it relaxes me and takes away a lot of my stress, so that's what I did.
Yes, so I actually kind of had an idea of what I wanted to do with the bucket. I kind of wanted to do like Pacifica landmarks, which with like Maury Point and Pacifica Pier. I love painting for a hobby and in spare time, and Pacifica, my hometown, and it's like giving back to the community.
Oh, I think my favorite part is just seeing the professional buckets. They are so good. We did it, and it was hard. Like, it was really difficult to paint on the buckets, and seeing how great the professional ones are is just super cool.
Honestly, they're all so good. I couldn't even tell which ones were the adults and the youths because they were so good. I was like so confused. It's like, which one should I tell them or which? They're so good, and it's really nice to see.
Yeah. Contrary to Ashling, I actually like to see the youth buckets a lot because I was like so surprised about how much like these people can get done.